Death be not proud.
All right, you ignorant pigs, put down your crack pipes and your beer bongs. It's time for another RTT roundup. That was July 12th, so yesterday for me, as the day of filming goes. So basically, I brought my night goblins out for this one. I brought what I basically had. There's some stuff that I have painted up for Old World, and I'm slowly building my collection again. I mentioned in a prior stream that I am basically went from having no projects to playing 30k in Old World and having multiple projects again and being buried under a mountain of plastic and having a small pile of shame. I've been building up collections in Old World. I want to kind of do a Savage Orc army. I've got savages right here. Luckily for me, there's not too many to paint, but then I still got to get a couple extra savages to put on chariots and stuff like that. So it's an ongoing process, and then uh, I start looking at my dwarf army, and I'm like, oh, do I want to paint dwarves and get some more slayers and do Ungrim Iron Fist and have one big slayer core brick of guys out there that are never going to run away that you have to kill to a man? There's so much to do that it's actually cut into my content production as a vlogger, basically. So as usual, we come to our tournament model showcase. Now, I'm going to go off with the general, first and foremost. That's this guy, Nafgat Earbiter, and he's rocking the Martog's Best Basher and Effigy of Mork, and he's just wearing the light armor. I keep it really simple with him. He tops out at 147. Martog's is a pretty good weapon. I mean, he'll be weapon skill 6 at -1 to hit, but he's not really there for a lot of combat capability. He's only there to kill other people's core infantry. He doesn't really want to scrap with other people's elite infantry. But he's usually backed up by his BSB on a stripper pole, and he's just rocking the Meteoric iron armor and a great weapon and the banner. He's 82 points. And that they go in one unit like this, and I try to put them on the edge so that they can project across the 3 night goblin units. Okay. Next up, we have a level 3 wizard. Now he's got the reroll 1 spell a turn, and that's Buzzgob's Knobbly Staff. And then this guy has the Idol of Gork. This is my level 4. I think having those rerolls are actually really strong. It's only 1 reroll per turn, but I'll take it. And one of them usually gets nested into the Archer Regiment, and usually I'm able to get off Evil Sun or Bad Moon Rising with some regularity. Those are good self spell. One of them's a self spell, but those are actually pretty good because you can get a little bit of armor pierce out of your archers and everything. Last but not least, we have Big Hopper, the Papa, and he's basically on a giant cave squig, Armour of Mork for some magic resistance -2, and he's got the Sword of Might, and he'll usually go into one of these 2 squig units right here. Usually goes into Big Blue. I usually say Big Blue's unit right here. So he's Big Blue basically, and he goes into the Blue Hopper unit. I need to make a red one pretty soon here. So there's 2 units of Squig Hoppers in special. That's my only special. And then I always bring 2 units of Wolf Riders as usual, and I'm rocking 3 units of Night Goblins. There's really nothing special about any of these units except for this one right here actually has a champion, whereas this one's just full command. You'll note that there are 9 fanatics. A little bit of a dirty trick, but I want to get you close to me, and I want to use those to shred through your infantry or shred through your dragon. I want to damage you because I can't fight. So that's usually why there's 90 night goblins in this list and everything like that. So next up, we come to our rare. You notice we have a giant. The giant, he's going to get retired. He's just not that good. He does project a threat, but if he's not doing belly flop and stuff like that, he's just there. I'm a giant, very threatening. And the reason why I don't trade him out for trolls is because I think trolls will be harder to control, and trolls also increase my frontage. I need to get some more trays. like this, where I'm only 6 wide in my 30 unit. I do not want, with these 2 units, I only want to be 6 wide. It's okay if the archers are 10. And that's one problem I have, is with frontages and crowd crush in this army. So I want to just basically be right here, 6 wide, 6 wide, and I can be 10 wide on the archers. Then you got the 2 Mangler Squigs, so that's basically, there is a lot of shooting armies out there, and basically what I wanted to do was I wanted to bring a potential of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then you have the goblins themselves. But that's 8 cannon targets that all project a threat. They all contribute in some way, shape, or form. If the Wolf Riders get to your war machine, they have spears. They have the spears and shields and light armor to deal with a war machine crew. I will take that all day, every day. And so they're usually shot off the table. You know, it's like turn 1, I saw 2 Wolf Riders die. The other one lost a Wolf Rider. Turn 2, rest of the unit died. Another unit made combat with a war machine or something like that. So there's always Wolf Riders in the list. The Hoppers, they can be good, they can be bad. I am gambling, but I'm gambling on the average 11 movement from these guys. If they jump into a unit, they get impact hits. And I'm looking to denude the strength of like Empire Spearmen, Elf Spearmen, Skaven Warriors, not Storm Vermin. I'm looking to denude the strength of somebody else's core unit with these guys. You bring 7 of these guys into base contact, that's, what do you call it? 7 impact hits at strength 5, AP -1. That's pretty solid. Then the Squigs move at initiative 7 at weapon skill 4 with 2 attacks. So there's that. And other than that, that's the list. Like I said, I'm gonna change up the frontages for this army and everything, because this is too wide. This is okay. I can have 1 wide unit, and then I'm gonna retire the giant for 2 Doom Divers so that I can start pressuring my opponent's elite infantry from turn 1 with controlled stone thrower fire. I don't think the giant really serves a purpose. The giant his table sucks. He has 2 different, I nominate a single model, and that model is the brunt of the giant's attack. Wow, I killed the champion. Wow, I put a wound on a wizard. And it sucks. Like, it needs to go to they need to take out one of those and give the giant a solid, kicks and punches thing for combat. So it's like, okay, if I roll a 1, I can nominate an enemy character. I nominate 1 model, and he's the brunt of the giant's fury. Fair enough. And then if anything else is just okay, a 3 through 4, I roll d6 plus 1, then I roll to hit you with the club attacks. That's just kind of the way I see it. I think the giant really just needs another one that's like, here, I stomp you twice. So this one is d6 plus 1 because I'm doing the London Bridge is falling down from the Evil Dead, and I'm not falling like Ash did on his face to get my fair ladied. I'm just stomping you again. d6 plus 1 stomps, and then at the end of the combat I stomp you because I'm using mighty kicks and stomps or something like that. And he's just too much of a gambling machine. Is what he's turned into a liability, but I bring him because he's got this little frontage here, and I can park him in between things. I'm gonna see if my buddy can print me a base, some square socket bases that I can put these guys on. I would remodel these, but they're resin. They're not coming off of that base. Good luck with that. No, they're gonna stay the way they are. And there's really nothing I can do about that. I might buy new ones, but then that's another project I don't have. But anyway, this is the army. You'll notice there's 9 fanatics. Not much to it, but it's a lot of fun. In this one, I brought out the Night Goblins. The list isn't that overly complicated. As a matter of fact, we're going to go into the showcase like we did before. You'll see what's in the list. You'll see what I brought, my reason for bringing it, and we'll be back. So we're gonna start it off right. We got in game notes I got for that. All right, we got Dark Elves versus Night Goblins, and the guy forgot his dragon. So you'll see an empty base with a dude laying prostrate on it. That's his dragon. That's fine. How you forget your dragon, we'll never know, but it happens to the best of us, I guess. So again, I'm gonna go to the photos here. We got it in display capture. Let's get rid of Akchan, the Space Pope, and we'll minimize me. We're gonna go. Let's see. Let's make this full screen. That is full screen. All right. Let's go in just a little bit more on these, and then so you'll see my setup and everything. And this is where I'm having the trouble right here, is with Crowd Crush. Now, one problem I had with this game is that my archers are supposed to be in the center. I got distracted while taking a question, put this unit down, and then basically the archers ended up over here. Both my wizards ended up over here. And this became a problem for me later. Luckily, I had some extra movement trays, and I was able to readdress the ranks like this. Not in marching column, but by putting two of these together. Because I don't want to be 8 wide. I actually had some 3 wide by... They would hold 18 if they were out, so it's in ranks of 6. But I wanted to decrease my frontage very quickly in the next game and everything, and that's one thing that I noticed, is that being 8 wide will only work for one unit. So you're going to want to be 6 wide with the other 2 units if you're going to have one that's 10 wide. And even then, I'm starting to think that 10 wide is too big for Night Goblins. So you'll see that I got some hoppers on the extreme left. I got both my manglers over there. I've got a big threat over there. There's a master in there with a unit of cold ones. I've got the Dark Riders are just Dark Riders. They're going to do what they do. You got 2 units of crossbowmen. Those Corsairs in the forest are crossbowmen. You got a unit of Blackguard. He's guarding his baggage train. And then he's got a level 2 sorceress with a unit of executioners. And then I've got my Wolf Riders out there on the flank. Now, one problem I have with the Wolf Riders is that they are impetuous, and I don't want to get too close. But sometimes you do get lucky with those leaderships. I got another unit of hoppers over here. Got the giant. Again, in the showcase, I talked about the giant being able to slip in and out. The biggest problem I have with the giant is his attacks. In my opinion, there is no need for number 5, Thump with Club. If Thump or Club were just automatically, you take a initiative test or whatever, you take the model nominated takes an initiative test. If he fails and you take d6 plus 1 wounds, it used to just be you take 2d6 wounds, no armor saves allowed. That model is dead. So number 5 on the giant table is just completely freaking useless. Jump up and down. So I think, if you could fix the giant, give him a 5+ armor save, keep him there for free, because God only knows the Arachnarok is too freaking expensive as well. Give him the 5+ armor save, okay? Then replace 5 with Mighty Kicks and Punches or something like that. Or Mighty Kicks and Stomps. And he just basically does d6 plus 1 stomp attacks in the close combat phase. Rather than I have 2 that basically nominate a single character. They nominate a single character, and I bring damage to 1 character. You don't need 2 of those, in my opinion. And then you also have the pick up and do whatever table. I don't even mess with that. So but the giant is there because I don't have any. I do have 1 stone thrower, but I need to get 2 doom divers. It's time. When I am done with these savage orcs and I get all my tanks built, I'm going to get 2 doom divers, but only after my 2 tanks are built. So my 4 tanks are built. So there's that. The just the generic setup and everything, but that's one of my those are my 2 biggest gripes. Are my frontages are too big. That's a weakness. I've got to eliminate it by the next tournament if I bring my Night Goblins again. And the giant, he's just got to go. He's got to get replaced with 2 doom divers. That way I can start pressuring elite infantry turn 1. Let's go to the next one here. So I think this is it after my turn 1 and just how I moved up and everything there. So let's see. Of course, nothing happened on turn 1. Turn 2, I did a wound to the dragon with Vindictive Glare, and then my wizard. This is where I just kind of found out that my wizards were out of position. She's all the way over there, trying to cast Magic Missile at my guys. I'm powerless to stop it. I did get a Fated Dispel off on his turn. On his turn 1, he just did a wound to the Mangler and no magic of note, so I have to come to him. There's my baggage train right there. I am going to make a baggage train model, and that he supplied everybody with the bases for that and said you can keep them if you wanted to. So thank you to the tournament organizer for that. I will put some crates, and maybe I'll find another Goblin teepee and put the Goblin teepee on there, and that'll be my baggage train model. So got the wolves in the center there, behind there. Again, I don't want to have to declare any charges. I'm being very coy with cagey with these. These are moving as fast as they can. I have to kind of be wary of this unit. Yes, he forgot to put a few guys out, and then because these guys are weapon skill 5, and the cold ones themselves have 2 attacks. This is actually one of the more decent dark elf units. And I'm really on board with the cold 1 knights. The stupidity isn't a problem if you have a leadership 9 master in there. So I think that this is probably the route you want to go down rather than using a bunch of infantry. And if you are going to use a bunch of infantry, just bring cheap spearman units. And this is the problem. Elves are elite. They're an elite force too. So they're not really good for the objective matter. So he moved up with the breath weapon there. He magic missiled he shot the squigs over here on my left, which is a good decision. He used the breath weapon on the squigs, and I lost a bunch of them. I only had 2 of them left. But we're immune to psychology, so we don't panic. And that's one of the reasons I tried to work the hoppers into the list. And that was what he did on his turn. On my turn, I got the squigs into combat with these guys. And we basically ate this entire unit. I was going to move over here because I got within 1 inch, but then I looked up the Lance's special rule, and I decided to stay back. He also charged the wolves. They ran away, and of course we're lucky because my characters are over here. I can protect the leadership 9 to 10 that I need every single turn to keep my night goblins in order. The red dice indicate my evil sun shining, so I've got the what do you call it within command range here? The evil sun shining, bad moon rising. So I've got the extra armor AP on my stuff. Let's go over here. It's just another angle of these guys. Gonna eat some elves. Being immune to psychology, you don't have to roll for fear. And put it in the comments section below. If the elves don't outnumber you, do you still have to roll? If you outnumber the elves, do you still have to roll fear? I'm not sure. I was rolling for fear because it looks like you fear elves all the time. There's another angle there of them getting eaten. I lost 2 to that combat. And I want to just kind of take over this entire side here with the monster and this So I did get a long bomb charge off with this guy in the next turn because he failed his charge, and I was able to countercharge here and then eat up all the knights. And sometimes these things are like slot machines, but they're better than the giant. I get D6 impact hits, D6 attacks, so I'm average for 3, guaranteed 4 wounds depending on saves. Just guaranteed 4 wounds, not guaranteed that they're not going to make their save. Toughness 5, if you're just strength 4, you still need 5s to wound me. Weapon skill 4, very decent monster. Mash, I brought my guys a little bit closer up and everything like that to pressure him because, and then as you can see in the far off distance, I brought the 2 blue squigs into that unit because he can't stand and shoot me. Compulsory moves, I'll take it. and I turned his flank over. Now, the cool thing about these guys is the impact hits. You come in, you do 2 impact hits, you kill 2 elves at strength 5, AP -1. Then the squigs are initiative 7. You get the 2 attacks there at strength 5, AP -1 with armor bane. You kill 2 more. They retaliate back. And I believe we were able to gobble, this one little unit was able to gobble up an entire unit of elf spears. Those are the Blackguard. We'll get to those later in a different battle report. The whole time I've been sparring with his dragon over here, I actually got a few vindictive glares off of him and peeled 2 wounds off of him. That's really useful. Like, there's a useful magic missile spell that you have that's offensive. It's really just not that great because you don't always roll a 1, and you don't ever want to take Lore Familiar on your Night Goblin Shaman because you need Itchy Nuisance. Itchy Nuisance, I think, is one of the capital demands that Goblin Shamans bring. And then over here, so notice how I'm missing a single square there. He had charged in because I started to pressure him. He shot off the last squig. I gobbled those guys up. He's going to return on the table. And then he brought those guys down. I'd been shooting them because I've been putting debuff magic on them. In one turn, my turn 3, I actually shot 7 of these guys off the table because they were toughness 1. And that's really useful when you're hitting on 5s and you're wounding on 2s. And you got all those shots, and that's why they're arranged in the long line there, because you're getting 9 shots. And I think Volley Fire gives you... I'll double check Volley Fire. But I believe it gives you up to 4 or 5 in the back rank. In the back ranks. So you shoot in there and you're just able to peel off wounds. And that was in turn 3, sorry, that this guy ate up all the Cold One Knights. I got very lucky there with that one. Because, he's also got Killing Blow on his attack. So if you roll a 6... You just punk 2 knights immediately, and that's very handy to have. So the elves charge in. He comes in, and I feed him my champion. Like I said, there's a spot missing. He basically kills 3 wounds off of the champion, and that's it. Challenge is an initiative order, and I like that. I really like this rule. I used it to my advantage in this one, but I was kind of like as you can see, I'm creeping across the board, and this pushes the dragon back, and then you'll notice the red dice start to pop up there. I hit him with debuff spells. I got his dragon down to toughness 2, and after I did that, I put 3 fanatics through him, and on his turn, because those spells last until my next turn, I even lowered him to weapon skill 1. What did I? Yeah, I even lowered him down to weapon skill 4 or something like that. I just know that it was. I wrote down that I put him down to toughness 2, shredded through him, killed him, and then he quit the game right there, right then and there. He gave me all the points, lost his dragon, and there wasn't really any harm done to my army except for the loss of 1 Squig Hopper unit and a unit of wolves. And so that's kind of how game 1 went. Why he didn't move down faster with his executioners, I don't know. But just my impression of the Dark Elves is they really got shafted in terms of their codex. They do have the best dragon in the game right now. They can bring the double save dragon with I think with the 2+ armor save. They're the only ones who can do that. So they got something at least. I'm not a huge expert on all of the factions since the Renegade pack came up and everything like that. There are some changes that I would personally make that I think would be better than what they've kind of determined, but if it fits in, it fits in. So that one I was just given full victory points for, and I'm going into round 2 again against Dark Elves. Just a little bit. This is about what it looked like over the lay of the battlefield for deployment just after lunch. And I had won that game very quickly, actually, the first game. So I had about an hour to practice Duolingo while I waited. And if I had a little bit more time, I would have gone and got my groceries, actually. But I didn't have that kind of time. So layout again. So you're seeing this repeating problem. I did have better placement on my wizards. I've got my commander's unit back here. The scenario is King of the Hill, so you want to get within 9 inches of this crack right here. That's what we determined the center was. You want to get a unit within 9 inches there. It has to be a core unit, so now you have to bring core units that are actually going to hold command and contribute in every scenario, and I do like that. I do like the fact that there should be some tax on every single army to bring their standard soldier. Who cares if that's knights for Britonia? Who cares if that's foot knights? Whatever it is, this kind of brings infantry into the game, and let's face it, you gotta use more than just characters and cavalry and monsters. I did say early on in a stream or in one of the other tournaments that the 50% in heroes with the monster mash and everything was a carve out to the Age of Sigmar players to at least get them to look over their shoulder at the game. So, you have this hero that costs 500 points or 700 points, like 700 point Chaos Lord on a dragon. You got some knights, you got some spawns, and then you have some Marauder horsemen. You got yourself an army. It's playable. And then you have a Doom wizard who's an artillery wizard. That's another thing I didn't see. Demonology looking a little strong. Everybody was running Demonology. And then, what do you call it? These things right here are just as musicians. He just thought that he printed them off and he thought they look cool. I think they look cool too. But again, I've got the crowd crush factor going on here, and let's see here. Did I get turn 1? Nope, I did not. This is another trope that falls into tournaments with me. I habitually never ever get turn 1, so I just have to suck it up, which really sucks. I really think I need the turn 1. I think I got turn 1 against the Skaven, but we'll see. From time to time, but once I shrink my frontages and get some new trays, I think turn 1's not going to be an issue, and especially once I retire the giant, it's not really going to be an issue, because if you've got shooting and I've got shooting now, and I'm able to drop at least one stone thrower template on you a turn, and even snipe your characters with those, it's going to pressure you to do some shit too. So yeah, nothing to note on his turn 1. He killed some oh, wait a minute. Killed some guys with... Oh, yeah, he killed some guys with a foot shade. 2 hoppers had to die by bolter. 1 goblin dead by bolter. 1 hopper dead by riders. My turn 1. I was able to get out a foot on unstoppable force. Nothing I can do. Did 1 wound from the arrow unit here. Did 1 wound to the Manticore, I believe, with arrows. Let's see here. We'll move into the net. Yeah. That was about the only target I had. And I was able to put a wound on him because I had my spells up, which allowed me -1. And that's actually kind of strong. Archers shooting at monsters with -1 crap is a thing now because they don't have the double save. They made the weaponry too expensive to bring if you want the double save. So you got people going back and forth on what they're going to do. And if it's just an elf on a dragon, he's got to bring a lance now. There's just nothing around it. That doesn't really affect the Bretonian Lord because the Grail Vow gives you magic attacks. So you're still pretty good there. And let's see here. Oh, yeah, so that's the Foot of Gork that got out on double sixes. Killed 1 of the Dark Riders, killed 4 Shades. It just popped in his direction. You can see the dice where it moved and everything. I think it was right there, and it went up over there. And then, let's see, we'll go to my next picture. I put out Foot again because I figured it had ran its course. My Squigs were successful in gobbling up his... Oh, he avoided my... What did he avoid? Hold on, let me go back to the last picture. Oh, my Squigs were successful in gobbling up his Cold One Knights on my turn because he moved out, and then I rolled a ridiculous 12 or 13 inches to get in there. And then I was also successful at stopping Gathering Darkness on his turn, so he didn't really have too much. And I think it was a failed... Yeah, it says here a failed charge from the Cold One Knights into these guys. And again, the crowd crush thing. These guys right here have no place to go because my frontages are so wide. So, like I said, they're just skirting along, and I'm going to try to poke them through these holes in a minute here. But they have to catch up with the rest of the army now. I didn't have any spots for them. I can't just put them randomly out on the side where they're going to get shot and stuff like that. But I am demanding of myself that I bring a minimum of 90 night goblins in every army. If I just do pure night goblins, I'm bringing 90 of these guys. Because one problem I have is what a unit of 24 looks like. And a well-placed magic missile, could easily just decimate the unit. Oh, I killed 7. I cause a panic. And so 24 is too small. I also don't get 3 fanatics if I bring 20. It's 10 per. For every 10 night goblins, you get 1 fanatic up to 3 fanatics. And I agree with that rule from minute 1, because you had people bringing a bunch of 10-man night goblin units with 3, and they were just launching them at the enemy, and they had 3 fanatics apiece in there. Well, of course, I don't know why they ever did 10-man units. For the life of me, I don't know why they ever did 10-man units. It's always been a minimum of 20. Okay, so we got up here after we killed the Dark Riders. We got into position over here. We gobbled up the Cold Ones. And we're looking to turn his flank. Now, the problem here is that I cannot charge this unit, because I cannot physically bring these guys through on a diagonal down to here. So that did shut me down for 1 turn for going into here. And this got my wolves shot to death by the bolt thrower, and they ended up running away from this area. And of course, this is another foot of Gork that I placed out. I've got the giant out free and clear. I do not want to face off against the Blackguard at full strength with the giant. They do have a relatively high weapon skill, but I was surprised that the Blackguard are not strength 5. They are strength 3, which is horseshit. They should at least be strength 4, and they don't have 2 attacks. So I was surprised to see that. You have what used to be one of the best infantry units in the game reduced to total shit. Total freaking shit. Like it's a garbage unit in my opinion. I mean, you can bring them. They're awesome models if you got them, like those old pewter Blackguard, some of the coolest models ever made, but not being strength 5 with 2 attacks. And initiatives, they should have at least have an initiative 7. And these guys are like the elite infantry. These guys are the badasses, like based on the Noldor from Token's Tale, and they don't have what they need to be successful or anything. So I was shocked there when I found out that they only had 1 attack apiece, but I still don't want to take them on. So let's see here. We also ate a bolter on this side with the same unit, so there's that. As you see here, this thing came through, killed 1 of them, killed 3 of them, and that's how they got finished off. We're going over here. He's further up on the hill. I've brought everybody that I could bear to bring, because I still got to keep this unit over here for the leadership purposes. I've got the Manticore and the wings. These guys, the hoppers over here, we'll zoom in on them. They caused him just way too much trouble that he actually turned his Manticore around. This guy was kind of new. I didn't think he was going to do that, but this was a guy with... this was the second Dark Elf player that I got today, where it's just like, okay, you're a little inexperienced. You need to ignore the Squig hoppers once they get going. He didn't quite know what to do with his skirmishers over here, because I can still turn around and charge him, and I've got these monsters coming up now. So wolves are dead. I've still got a couple wolves over here in a different unit. I put both Wolf Rider units out there on the left. My turn. Yeah, this is turn 3 basically. I release Fanatics through the Blackguard. Move the giant up to get into position there. These guys don't panic, and we shredded. We killed. I did not write down the casualty number, but it was quite a bit. It was quite a bit. Just enough to basically make it so if you can charge the side of the giant, that's fine. But I'm not giving you the flank to my night goblins. And that's what happened there. So, of course, my spell's up for Armor Pierce 1. We're shooting at these guys when we can. We're also plucking off wounds on this guy. So I think I got him up to 2 wounds at this point. He charges me up here on the hill, double charge with the into the giant and everything. And this is going to be where I start complaining about the giant, because he's also got his sorceress in there. I mean, it is good in some ways, but basically what happened in this combat is these guys are going to get driven off. They fall back 10 inches. I do a couple of stomps and finish off the unit, and then I'm left there with the sorceress who falls back 2 inches, and basically all that because I rolled a 5. I rolled a 1, which is just nominate, and I did 2 wounds to her, basically. And having the 2 single profile nominate an enemy character, you should only have 1. If he had another profile where he just stomped you twice, so I stomp you for close combat attacks, but it's d6 plus 1, and then I stomp you again, that would make him a little bit more viable, especially if he had the heavy armor save. But he does have 6 wounds at toughness 6. I mean, he is what he is. If you have him, you might as well run him, but I'm seeing less giants, and this is why. He turned to face me over there, and of course you see that, and then I brought my wolves in on my turn 4, and I bring these guys. I also bring the Mangler Squig in because I finally opened up. I had backed off the archers. I brought this unit up to contest the hill, and now all that's left is really just this unit and the Manticore. And the wolves kill the sorceress, and then we go into basically my 5, I think. That's what it looks like after we're done. And then I believe he had first turn, so he comes in with the Manticore. Giant drops the ball, and then after that, we get shot up. We start to run. Giant drops the ball, and then we go to my turn, and this is turn 5. Turn 5, this guy took off running, gets hit by a fanatic. One less. That's always hilarious when that happens. I had to take a picture of that. There's just an arrow. You know what happened. He took 3 wounds. He's dead. And let's see here. We had a disordered charge right there because we we had a disordered charge there, and that's about all we could connect on. And then what did he run away from me with? Oh yeah, he fled with the Manticore because I put all the on my turn 5. I put massive debuff spells on it, and he decided to run away because I was going to challenge him out and see if I can get lucky with that. And him being he's toughness 1, weapon skill 3, not going to do a lot right there. Toughness 1, initiative lower than the Night Goblin now, so if I challenge him out with Martogs, I've got a pretty good chance of hurting him and him not being able to do a whole lot to me. And that ended up as a disorganized charge because I didn't have enough movement to touch him, but I am touching corner. We move up closer with the Manglers. We take the hill entirely. We march, march, march. Oh, and I forgot what caused the panic in the the wolf unit was the giant fell on him after he timbered. These guys come back on the table after eating the war machine. Now, when I got into combat with him initially, he made every single 4+ ward save. I even got the hoppers in combat with him, I think, and no, I think I refused that because I didn't want to get challenged out. He made every single 4+ ward save, punked one of these things, even with the debuff spells on him, and then left this guy on 1 wound. And that really sucked right there. And then we go into turn 6. Lord eats what's left of his spearman unit up on the hill between the great weapons and Martog's best basher. Manglers get punked and left the Manticore on 2 wounds, rolled Snake Eyes to stay, and then he's able to kill this guy in the next turn. So I got another picture of that with both my Manglers sitting there. This guy's left with 2 wounds. Hardly a match for this unit now that they've taken the hill, and that's kind of how you want to set up your Night Goblins to fight creatures, especially if they just have 2 wounds. You want to cast the debuff magic on them, get rid of their weapon skill, but if he charges this unit, I've got so much combat res, all I have to do is feed him the champion. And, you know, he can basically do anywhere from, if he does 4 wounds, I still win by 1. And I'm banking on the lance doing 4 wounds. So there's that. And that's kind of how this game ended. I got it was 2633 to 700 on this one. And that was because I fully took the hill in the last turn, and it got me. You can see all my. So this King of the Hill scenario, depending on how many, you don't contest it to negate the other person from scoring. You just score. And so those hundreds are me just scoring all the way down the paper there. And I kind of have a problem with the way the objectives are just a little bit. So all you have to, like, if there's normal circular objectives on the table, you just got to be within 6 of them. And you just got to be within 9 to score points. But it is King of the Hill. This does bring everything into the center for a scrap. And that's kind of how this game went with Dark Elves and everything. You know, could I have done better with this? Yeah, but God, I think I wrote it down. How many ward saves did he make? Oh yeah, the Manticore made only a spear got through to him because I forgot I brought this unit in combat with the Manticore. That's why. So I did have some goblins attack him. Okay, that's what I neglected. You do what you can with this chicken scratch writing of mine. Yeah, so 3 ranks, banner, BSB, wins. He runs off. I got the disorganized charged on the spearman, and that should clear up the confusion there. But yeah, me losing both manglers like that when I was split in the front, I did not get a picture of that. That's another problem. I still got to find the right pictures when I do these kinds of battle reports. But that was game 2. We're going into game 3 against Skaven, and this is what I think the big injustice is: how buff the Storm Vermin are compared to the Blackguard. So this is basically it for setup and everything. This is photo 1 here, and I just found out that these things, they zap in your shooting phase too. You just get to lay out a 6-inch template and go zap, zap. That's how these Wolf Riders died and everything like that. Let's see here. So we're going in raw, turn 1. Turn 1, I lost some goblins. I lost 5 from the 5 in one unit, 4 from another unit, and he plucked a wound off the Mangler. This army does have a lot of shooting. The Giselles are no joke. This 86 cannon is no joke, and the Rattling guns are no joke. They do project the threat. The one upside to fighting Skaven now, the one huge upside, is that there's not going to be a lot of them like there used to be. It's like, oh, you don't have all of these benefits and 200 models. So there is that. I will take that. He's got a big unit of Storm Vermin in there with the bell and everything. They're moving the bell. The bell's obscured. Those are the objectives on the table. I've got my archers in the right place, just adjacent that Storm Vermin unit. And I didn't know that they were always counted as obscured. And if you have any intervening model or template that blocks line of sight, they get an additional -1 because of that. So I don't know if this is correct at the beginning of this game. If there's a fanatic in your way, it gives them an additional -1, and they're obscured, which I think is horse shit, by the way. I should at least always be able to hit this unit on 5s, not 6s. Didn't know that walking into it. But I've got, as you can see here, I finally wised up, put 2 trays together, and now I'm starting to look like a fighting force. Now I have range with this wizard. Now the wizard's over here. We're towards the grace here. I had this guy on my turn 1. I just did a full march. I moved up 6 inches to contest him and him. He's already contesting there. I moved up 18 to contest this. I have 16 inches of movement. He didn't know the Wolf Riders were that fast, by the way. Like, I normally just need to peek on my measuring tape and just be like, okay, there's 14 inches. I'm good. Usually I just move them 14. I have that like ingrained in my muscle memory of where 14 inches is from them. So moved up around the forest. I didn't want my giant and stuff getting shot at, so I kind of omitted them from this game. I don't want a Doom Wheel on the flank dropping templates on me. That's something you don't want. So I put the tools over here to deal with this one threat. And this is one threat, but again, there's not 2 Doom Wheels. There's not a Hell Pit Abomination. If you invest in this unit, which is very expensive, by the way, very, very expensive, by the way, you don't get to bring a lot, but you do have some decent tricks. And on the periphery, we got another, I think we have the other Mangler. And so I use these forests to kind of conceal my units from his Giselles, because they can hurt. And of course, when you get a hill, you got to take the hill. But for once, the terrain is where you can use it. I do like this scenario just for the terrain layout. Oh, look at where the forests are. I can hide behind the forest, people. I can use the terrain to my advantage. Hooray. And, over. So, Skaven turn 2, I pop out 2 Fanatics and I get them as far as I could. It was a little janky there. I really think that one that got within a millimeter actually hit. But he said no, I'll take it, that's fine. I really just deployed 2 of those things to keep him from charging because they also have the Swift Stride banner, which makes them extremely dangerous. You've got a 5-inch movement plus 7 usually, so you got 5 plus 4 for 9 plus 3. That goes up to 12. 12-inch threat range there. We are exactly 12 inches away. I'm sitting there at 11. And I put those out there for him to basically eat. Now, I learned at the end of this game that you cannot target Fanatics for the purposes of shooting in Old World. So I really need to buckle down and read my rules again. But that's okay. If you want to shoot the Fanatics, that's fine. I didn't really care. So this guy's been to the last 3 tournaments, so he knows a little bit better than the first 2 players did. So continued on turn 2 for Skaven. I lost some 2 Fanatics to the Giselles because he decided to shoot him, which you can't do, and then 6 from the 6 goblins from the rattle guns, and then 3 from the lightning gun. Gracier eats a bad piece of a warpstone token, which he only had 2 of, and ended up doing a wound to himself. So that actually kind of helps there. And in combat, the Doom Wheel, of course, ate the rest of my wolves, but did not overrun far enough to get out of the charge arc of the giant, which really helps me, of course. I bring the wounded Mangler over here. I bring these guys in, and the red hoppers, they go for it. Like, boom, killed a whole rank of guys with the impact hits. Boom, killed 2.5 ranks worth of a rank and a half worth of guys with the squigs. Going at initiative 6, the spears come in, kill off. They killed 15. And that's kind of why you bring them, to kill other people's normal infantry. So if you got Empire Spearmen in front of you, you jump onto them, you inflict damage, you inflict the harm. So I want to try to find a way to use this just a little bit better. This is like the best case scenario. Best case scenario against toughness 3 guys with the 5+ armor save. Because of parry now, they got light armor shield. They go down to a 4. They can go down to a 4, but I think he was using spears. You don't get parry when you use spears, so he was a 6 on that combat there. And this Vortex also killed one of the Vortex right here. Also killed one of the weapons teams. I think it was either this unit's team or this unit's team, but there's still a weapon team on the other side. So the Vortex killed one of those. He was casting out Vortexes trying to keep me away. And as you notice, I'm on the objective right here, so I'm getting points, and I'm just creeping closer with this one unit the whole time. This one unit on the diagonal down here on the lower portion of my screen, right here, is creeping forward all the time. I was also able to dispel some of the vortexes, and I started to vindictive glare the cannon because it was the only target that I had for my magic missiles, and I started to pluck wounds off of that thing. So here we go on turn 4. The Storm Vermin take wounds through the Fanatics. Okay, let's see what happens here. I forgot about this. Another angle. So over on the turns 3, you can see I still got 1 Fanatic left in this unit. We put these guys back to the house and everything, and then we stop there. These guys are over here. They're going to go into that gun. I've got the wolves. I think the Giselles finish off these wolves because now they're contesting this objective, and I picked up a point for that, actually. It has to be a core unit, and so they're still core. So they're earning their points there because I can play all the scenarios very well with this army. which is an unforeseen consequence. It's not like I'm some kind of tactical genius. I just said, what can I bring with Night Goblins? Because I've been on a Night Goblin kick lately. Right. So as the turn progresses, this Mangler comes down on my turn. On my turn 3, yeah, it comes down, eats these clan rats. We get these guys up there. We kill a number of the jizz stands is what I'm starting to call them instead of jizzels. They're just jizz stands because it's a stand of guys, and they jizz warpstone out on you and everything. So it's like, I don't like that. Yeah, I just started calling them jizz stands for short in the notes here. And then these guys come down, gobble up the gun. They took some casualties along the way, I think from the from the jizz stands. And then we go into his 4. He's actually finally close enough now. I throw everything through him. I get, what do you call it? This is a picture taken afterwards. So afterwards, okay, so I was actually closer right here, and then I moved back on my turn. That's what happened. But I was close enough. I was within 8 inches that I put 3 fanatics with him. This one put a fanatic through him, and then I put the last fanatic from this unit in front of him. He took 46 fanatic hits, and this left him with 1. That's his lord. He doesn't have a proper lord. This literally left him with 3 storm vermin left in the unit. And I had ducked the wizard out of this, and this is kind of by design to a certain extent too, because I know that just these guys by themselves project this kind of threat. This is what they bring. Okay? During the Rat's turn 4 combat, they killed 19 goblins, run the unit down, and they run straight into this wizard. Because you're going to get greedy, you're going to kill the wizard. This would allow me, if I needed to, because I didn't kill enough, to push fanatics through here into him on my command phase. So 1, just push him through. Because if he's sitting right here, I can just line it up however I want. So I could just push through and jump through you and use these guys as a conduit, basically, to monkey branch fanatics into what's left of your unit. Luckily, it didn't come to that. And you'll see why here in a second. But yeah, and then I continued the assault up here on the mountain with these 2 red hoppers. Red hoppers in this one being the MVPs of the game. And let's see. We got into this weapons team. On the next photo here. I brought these hoppers down, and I did make a mistake here. Even though they got these guys down to weapon skill 2, toughness 1, I missed with all of my impact hits, which is what I was hoping to do, was kill the characters, then declare a challenge, and just challenge out the Lord, because I think I have 4 wounds, and I can take the challenge in 1 wound with the Lord, because he's a Lord level character with 4 wounds. So there's that. And then we were successful in killing off the unit, but we did lose our, what do you call it here? He ended up out of combat after this, and then fanatics moved over there. I believe one of them died. One of them went right into the terrain, the gas cloud. I brought this unit up. I brought this unit up. Now we, no bullshit, have this unit, and we this objective with this unit, and we have this objective with that unit. So this is where I pass him on the objectives, because he only had to move 6 inches initially just to be there, and he thought that I wasn't going to come and take that shit from him. But I couldn't. You can't do anything against this unit. It's so one-sided how good this was written for the Skaven, yet so bad for the Blackguard. I think these 2 units should be on par. You could take the Skaven Brew, which gives you Frenzied, and because he had charged, he was Initiative 8, and he was able to kill these 2 before they attacked. He put some wounds onto this character, and then I was successful with killing the last 3 of these guys with my Sword of Might, which was really good, because without them, the bell can't move anymore. And it just became what I thought. I did get the result that I wanted. It became a collection of characters after that. He gets 1 initial turn for winning combat, charges the Lord in there. As you can see, I'm on 1 wound. Fanatics are over there. We gobbled up what's left of the hill there. We impacted him to death with the red hoppers, again, the MVPs of this game. These 2 units of Skaven did not have any banners. This was the only banners in his unit. He's looking at me with this bell. And we went a full 6 turns, and he fought me tooth and nail every single way. And it was 1542. 1542 for the Night Goblins to 1065 for the Rats. And that's basically how this tournament ended. So, like I said, a couple of the changes that I would make is number one, I need to shrink my frontages. My frontages are way too long. It's getting in the way of my monsters. It's getting in the way of my fast cavalry. It's getting in the way of my hoppers. And if I have a giant, it's getting in the way of them. I want to retire the giant, bring two Doom Divers, so that if I do see a bad unit like this, because these things are -1 to be shot. I was hitting this unit most of the time on 6s. I had a couple of turns where I had them down to toughness 1, and all I had to do was shoot you. I think the Storm Vermin also have full plate, which is also BS too, because they didn't give that to the Black Guard. So I was hitting on 6s, and I was killing, I killed four or five total with arrows. It was the Fanatics that did the damage, but even then, the first 3 that initially ripped through him did him for only 9, of which he took 8, and then the next one that he landed on and went through, that did 6 and took 5 more, I believe. So I had to rely on some janky shit to win that one, because I've seen this unit fight before against my vampires, and this thing just stood forever against a giant 20-man brick of Black Knights that were like sometimes weapon skill 6 to weapon skill 6 to weapon skill 9 almost. So lesson learned there from my last tournament: don't mess with the Bell unit and do everything you can to destroy it. And I think having the Doom Divers to pressure this unit, because let's say I'm landing, let's say I just land 3 templates. By the time this thing makes combat and gets Fanatic, it's probably not going to have any guys left. I just want to denude the strength of that, because Goblins can't stand up to this. Now, if I have a brick of Night Goblins, 50 strong, and I've got 4 hero level characters in there, I can throw out the challenge, and now he's got to choose where he's going to attack. And I could do some janky shit that way, because if you attack a character and you only do 2 wounds, that's all you get. Everything else is lost. It's all gone once you attack characters outside of challenges and everything. And if any of those characters survive, because I'll have a net in that unit, I'm essentially -1 to wound at toughness 4, which is really good against strength 5. Because now you go to strength 4 and you're on 4s to wound me rather than 3s. Or rather than 2s some of the time. And I'm swinging up there with at least 2 or 3 great weapons. And I'm taking casualties, and that's the important part. And this is after Fanatics. I mean, you can have a combat brick. It's just not as effective as it used to be in 8th edition without Steadfast. But that's basically, I think that's the last photo. That's where the world ended. This guy got eaten. He's still dead. The 2 heroes moved up over there to get away in case I charged them, because 1 hero can't stand against this many guys. Just looking at the Bell, it can't move now. It's no longer a threat. I can bring the giant down if I have to. I can bring these guys down if I have to, and I can finish them off if we wanted to continue playing. But these 2 guys get away for now, and I'll take that with a grain of salt. And so that's basically it. Yeah. So anyway, I don't know if I'm going to do another tournament this year. I might. I don't. There is one next month, I believe. A 2-dayer, but I don't think I'm going to do it. I think I'll be in full campaign mode. So that's what's next in the loophole for Warhammer the Old World 1.5 is a campaign. We're starting at 500 points, and me and my buddy were talking last night. We're going to do increments of 250. Because that's what the campaign suggested. So we're probably going to do 2 weeks at 500 points. Then we're going to 750 for 2 weeks. then I think that goes to 1,000. Then it goes to 1,250. We might do maybe 1 week of 1 points value somewhere. But what we're hoping for is that we can develop characters, because you have to take a boss in every single unit, and you get a maximum of 6 units, even your characters count. So right now I have 2 heroes. I have 2 units of Night Goblins, I have a unit of Wolves, and I have a Mangler Squig in my own. I'm trying to make it a little better. I don't know if I want to run a 10-man unit of Goblins. I don't know if I'm brave enough for that. But, yeah, you get 6 out the door of what you get to bring, and it's going to be a slow grow, because I want to one thing that we talked about were the rules, and I want to relearn the rules from the ground up, essentially. And this is another problem with the old world is I've already chosen my 2 armies. It's just going to be primarily greenskins, and if I play another army, it will most likely be Britonia, even though I want to paint Slayers. But I don't think I'm going to bring out my Empire. I don't think I'm going to bring out my Dwarves. Is there another army I own? I'm not going to bring out my Vampires. So I'm just going to leave it like that, and we're going to start there. I'm saying 300-point progressions, so that when you get to week 3, you're at least 1100 with a little leeway, but 250 is fine. So that's next in the pipeline. Other than live streaming, you'll probably, the 95% chance you'll see me on Thursday. If you want to get in touch with me, you can DM me on Instagram. Instagram DMs are the best way to get in touch with me. And if you're watching me on YouTube, don't forget to leave a like and a comment. So this is how the algorithm works now. For every 8 likes that I get, I only get to keep 1 like. But if you tie that like to a comment, they let me keep the like. That's how it works algorithmically on YouTube. I have just recently discovered that through some black magic. That is true. Don't forget to share the video if you're on Rumble. Bless you. You're already helping me out immensely by being over there on Rumble. Don't forget to share the video on Rumble. Leave a like and a comment, and the video just gets out. You got more organic flow in the algorithm on Rumble than you do on YouTube. And in case I don't see you, keep playing, keep painting. Don't forget to go to some tournaments for Old World, and we'll see you in the next one.
Even you, puppy dog. Hey, you need to grow a sack!